All right, we are live. Everyone. Boy, I cannot talk today. Welcome to AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. I'm your host, Madalyn Skylar. Today, we're going to be talking about a variety of things. We come here and talk about AI tips, tricks, and advice that will help you work smarter, not harder, when it comes to your business and everyday life. And there's always like a dash of social media know-how thrown in because I been teaching social media for over 20 years, and so much of what we do with social media ties into our AI use. So sometimes, we go off in these other discussions that may not be related 100% to AI. That happened last week too, because also we talk about community building a lot as well. That was a big part of our discussion last week. And I thought, some people are probably here wondering, why aren't they talking about AI, especially if they were new to us? But we talk about a variety of things over here on AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter. But it's all about just helping you sift through all the noise and with all these AI tools, helping you boost your productivity without being so incredibly overloaded. This live stream is brought to you by our AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter community over on the Skool platform. I'll show you that in just a moment. Let me bring up today's panelists that are here with us. Barb's here with us right now. Hey, Barb. I'm so glad you're hanging out with us today. I don't know, everybody's busy, I guess, and that's okay. This is just come hang out with Madalyn while Madalyn shows all these different things she's looking at and she wants to share. But I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Boy, we've been hanging out together for what?
Decades.
2 decades?
Decades, long time. We've known each other a long time through my old music community, and
Brought me into Twitter. And
yeah,
now it's like, even Twitter's no more. They killed the bird.
poor Twitter. I miss old Twitter. I really miss old Twitter.
Oh,
Was fun. X is not the same at all. I'm still on there, but is there's so many other platforms. Like, look, this is an important lesson right here that is smart when in business, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're just a content creator for somebody else, or whatever it is you do, that there's always these pivots and changes. I mean, who would have thought 30 years ago, when the internet and the whole .com thing was newer, we'd be where we're at today? And who would have thought 20 years ago that social media would be a revolution? I mean, I remember when I got really heavily into social media in 2005. We used to call it social networking back then. It was a whole different terminology.
right.
Business, well, you know what? It's funny. Let me back up. 30 years ago, businesses were like, we're perfectly happy with doing our advertising and sales in the newspaper and the yellow pages and with postcards and all of this stuff, right? And look at how things have evolved. Hey, Rachel, look at how things have evolved from 30 years ago. And I mean, with me being an early adopter to the internet, I was one of the first web designers in Houston. Businesses resisted. They're like, why would I have this website thing? That's not important. Our Yellow Pages ad is more important. And it took a long time for people to shift their mindset with this. And now it's like, we can't live without the internet, right? And it's a big part of our marketing and just sales and everything with business. And then you look 20 years ago, and then why? So finally, just about every business had a website. And then you have social media. And I mean, I'm looking, going, oh, this is going to be big. And I really fully embraced it. I remember talking to companies and businesses, and they're like, no, we don't need to jump into that. And look at the progressions. Here we are 20 years later. And it's like, everybody has to be on social media. If you're a company, if you're a business, if your brand is not on social media, you're off the grid. It used to be, if you build the website, they would come. And in the early days, yeah, all you had to do was build a website and get it listed on Yahoo. Yahoo used to be the number one search engine way before Google. All you had to do was have a website. And then when it all got so crowded, then it was no longer, if you build it, they would come. You still had to build it, but you need to show up and nurture it and work it. And then social media gave us an easy way to do it. Everybody thought, oh, email's going to be dead. Social media is going to take over. And I've always said, all these decades, email is not dead. Email will never be dead. You cannot bypass the importance of an email address. When somebody opts in and gives you their email address, they're giving you permission to contact them. social media, now early days social media, yeah, somebody followed you, they saw everything you posted. Back in the good old days, before the algorithm ruined it all. And the algorithm completely changed the landscape. And then people that stopped doing email marketing were like, oh, it is important to have that email address. And I used to tell people, every email address you collect is gold. So don't stop taking advantage of that. And look at where we are now in 2026. You're having somebody's email. Hey, Pip, having somebody's emails is. I mean, don't you agree that an email is just as, if not more important than a like or a follow on social media? You're muted, Rachel.
You're muted.
You're muted, Rachel.
Sorry, Pip was on my keyboard, so I said, dude, you gotta move.
It's all Pip's fault.
It's all Pip's fault. Yeah, it took me a long time to hop on the email is important, not email, but subscribers. Combined the two until the last, I would say probably pandemic era, because that was when Substack really started. I was very active on Medium for many years and even got paid fairly well, more than I've ever made on Substack. But Substack is sending me clients. People are reading my Substack.
That's so important. That's so important. Substack is something, I know we talk about it a lot here. That is something not to sleep on. That is for sure. Yeah. It is powerful. But it goes back to when I first started at the top of the hour, is that it's so important to pivot as needed and to watch what the trends are, what's happening. And I've been watching Substack for years, and it's looking back, it's like, wow, that transition is really changed abruptly in the last year. And everybody's on there now. And the ability is so unique to me that it can be a newsletter, it can be a social media feed, it can be a podcast, it can be a live stream. And now it's on the big screen on your smart TV. So much to it now that we're always stressing here, like, you got to go check out Substack. If anything, just get on there and go see what it's all about. Follow Rachel, because Rachel, you're always sharing helpful information on how to use it. I'm going to put your Substack up here so people can check you out. Substack.com/@badredheadmedia. And you just put out an article recently, another one of those how-to on Substack. I love that.
Yeah, that was a part one. And it honestly came from people asking me questions about tags, and which are keywords on Substack. They call them tags, right? But keywords and key phrases, categories, where to find that stuff. And I think there's no flow chart when you start on Substack. Go here, go here, go here. There is a little bit. There is a kind of a list of things for you to do. But if you just want to click around and read stuff, you don't even have to create a publication. And then you can get familiar with that format. And there's no commitment either way. If you create a publication and it just sits there, it doesn't cost you any money. So it's not like if you're using a paid service like MailChimp or ConvertKit or any of those, you're constantly paying money whether you do something or not. Substack, you don't pay anything.
Exactly. Great point. I'm still in awe that Substack is free all around. It's free to use. It's free for your subscribers. You can charge for subscribers. You can use it like a Patreon, and gatekeep some of the content and then provide more for people that pay, and you can set the price. There's so much you can do with it. It's amazing. I'm glad you're here with us, Rachel. Thanks. It's always good having you. Barb, I just love your photo. Oh, your photo's bigger now. Before we started, when we went live, Barb's photo was a lot smaller.
Yeah,
what did you figure out?
Okay, so see, there's nothing. I'm going to take it off again. Look at that.
So tiny.
What a difference.
Wow.
That's what I was talking about. So I'm taking screenshots for StreamYard to ask them about it, because at least psychologically, when I'm that big, it's like I'm part of the party.
It does. You know what? That you nailed it on the head, because I mean, I love that you're here with us. Totally fine that you're just, doing the audio only. this does make you feel like a part of the conversation more so than
I see your faces. It's like,
Your-
oh, she's there.
well, it doesn't do the ring with showing us that
Yeah.
you're talking.
And
So
that's the psychological part. And
yeah,
I
StreamYard needs
worked
to
with, like I
function.
said, I worked with a lot of shrinks, and on the techie side, it's like, what does this do to us?
Right.
My voice is warm and friendly, you know that. But there's something about that vibration around there that says, oh, she's here, you know. And now that podcasting is in again, it's especially important. But this is one of the features that we really push StreamYard to have from the get-go,
Right.
is to be able, when they're on audio only, there's got to be the vibration around the avatar so that they know people, if they have it on mute, that person is there and participating. It's not just a poster of somebody hanging out. So
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
exactly. Just a reminder for those watching us online, we're broadcasting all over the place. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. But if you're on a platform that lets you hit the like and subscribe, please do so. We host this every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern for an hour. It's always a lot of fun here. I have lots to talk about with y'all today. Let's dive in. Let's get right into it. So I made a decision on Skool, and I changed it from the pro to the hobby plan. And I'm going to explain what I did, why I did it, and lessons learned in the past 24 hours, and what's going on next. Nothing's changing, just FYI. Our AI Shortcuts to Work Smarter platform is not going to change. What you'll notice is what happens when you go from the pro plan, which for me as the owner of the community is $99 a month, which can be hefty if you're not monetizing the community. And I have not been monetizing the community, and I have other plans for other monetization things. So I adjusted this and changed it to the hobby plan, which is only $9 a month. And we talk about that quite a bit here. And so for those that want to, start your own community, it's very easy to do. $9 a month is a great starting point, and you get almost all the features. And we're going to go over that too. So if you want to go check that out, go over to bit.ly/join Skool today. Yes, I got that link a couple years ago. I was so excited. I don't think people could get such a great Bitly link these days that involves Skool. This is before Skool got so popular. And I'm also going to talk about why I use Bitly and why I will not ever recommend tinyURL ever again, and I will never use it again. I can't wait to show y'all what happened. Oh my gosh. Good thing I'm here so I can explain it all. But one of the drawbacks with Skool, when you go to the $9 a month plan, the hobby plan, is you don't get the custom URL. And that was the main reason why I stayed on the pro plan for as long as I did, which was a very, very long time. Hey, Christopher, good to see you here with us. So I really seriously, this was me for, I can't even tell you how long. Over a year, maybe longer. It's like $9, $99. Skool.com/Madalyn Skylar or Skool.com/ blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and so it's a long, thing. And it's also based on what you first called it. And when I first set it up, it was social media shortcuts. Social media, it was before I incorporated AI into it. So the URL itself, not good. But then I finally got to this point where it's like, okay, but I have other plans, I have other things I want to do. Let me just make a link shortener, because also might be hard to find, because if you go into Skool and just do a search and put AI shortcuts should take you to it. When I'm logged in on my account, I put in AI shortcuts, it does not take me to it. But also I'm a member, and it does show me in a different place how I can just click and go right directly to it. But for somebody that's not in there, you should be able to find if you put AI shortcuts. If you just put AI, there's a lot of other AI communities. So I made a bit.ly link, bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. Make it super simple and easy. And if anybody's having trouble finding it, just reach out to me and I'll get you the link. So I was letting that stop me from making this change. I don't need all I don't need the few features you get on the pro plan for $99 a month. And since I'm not monetizing it, the site is like, okay, I need to just do it. So that's what I did. Nothing else is changing. So I just want to be very clear. But let me tell you about the lessons I learned from this. And so I decided yesterday, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it. Because I'm a few days away from the next pay period, and it's like, I can't just keep paying $100. I already I have another school that I pay that, and then there's a new one I'm gonna be starting. So, what kind of freaked me out, and it took me a while before I finally hit the button, was when this, this is the screen. I did a screenshot on my phone to show y'all. This is the screen that comes up to let you know, okay, when you downgrade, they just have all this just in your face, and it kind of freaked me out because it's like, okay, do I really want to do all this stuff? Should I do this? And let me pull it up on my phone because that's small for me to look at. Okay, so it lets you know you're going to lose your custom URL and it will be available for others to claim. And I even reached out to Sam Ovens last year because I wanted to be absolutely clear with myself. If I did this, how will it work with the URL? Now, one of the peace of mind things for me is that my URL was skool.com/Madalyn Skylar. One of the perks of having a very unusual name is nobody else is going to have that URL. And if somebody did, I'd be able to easily claim it because there are no other Madalyn Skylars in the world with it spelled exactly like me. So I'm not worried about that part. I know that if I want to change it back, and at some point I probably will, I can get my old URL. Now, this was problematic. The second one says all links to your custom URL will fail. So if anybody's been bookmarking it, skool.com/Madalyn Skylar, that link's not going to work. But I don't know if that's really an issue. And I don't think that's worth me not making this change. Next one is your transaction fee will increase from 2.9% to 10%. Well, if you're not monetizing your community, it's not a big deal if, let's say, you do have an online class or you do offer some coaching consulting or whatever. And I do have coaching consulting available in the classroom on this in this community. 2.9% versus 10% is not a big deal with the transaction fee they keep, unless you're totally monetizing and trying to make real money off of that. The other thing is suggested groups will be shown on the sidebar. That's not a big deal. You'll see on here now that when I scroll down, it's going to have these suggested communities right here. So, well, there's something. Can y'all hear something noisy outside? Hopefully that's not coming through. And you only get one admin moderator, and that's fine because I don't have any admins or moderators on this. I run this whole thing by myself. And you lose access to plugins and affiliates. And it's good that they really point this all out to you, before you downgrade, just to make it very clear you understand what you're doing here. And the plugins, when you own your own Skool community, they give you all these options, things you can do. The only thing that I'm losing that I wasn't terribly excited about, but was not a big deal, is one of the plugins. Let me bring it back up here. One of the plugins that you have on the Pro plan is right under your bio and right under this right here. You can have this little sidebar here with links. You can have up to 3 links of things. So basically, instead of having where the suggested communities are, it's right down here. You can customize 3 separate links. So you can send them to places. You can send them to wherever. And that can be pretty valuable, but also I don't think to me, that's not like a game changer. So I didn't feel like I just kept weighing the options and decided, you know what, this needs to be downgraded. One other thing you don't get access to is when you're live streaming in here, there's 2 options now. And these are all fairly new, by the way. These options were not available that long ago. They just kept upgrading and upgrading Skool. So they have the live stream feature. And when they first released it last year, the first iteration was you can do it like a Zoom call. So you start a live stream in Skool, you can schedule it or do it on the fly. And whoever shows up, it's just a bunch of little boxes of all of you on video, exactly like a Zoom. And it was brilliant on their part because so many people were paying Zoom, because if they wanted to have live streaming as part of their community, they had to go do it on Zoom. They could schedule it in the calendar in their community, but then send everybody to Zoom and you paid for it, right? The community owner paid for it. You no longer need that, because what Skool did is incorporated that, and it's great. I'm blown away. Second, about a month later or so, they incorporated another iteration of live streaming, which is the webinar version. They have it so that you now have a choice as the community owner. So you can either do the Hangout style, like a Zoom call, or the webinar where it's you on screen. Everybody who shows up, they're mute. They're not on screen. Their video is not on screen. It's you on screen. They're all there to tune in like a traditional webinar. But you can bring up people that are there live and add them on stage with you. And so much flexibility. So and that was another reason why I did not want to downgrade for the longest time, because I really like that there's a webinar feature, and I started using it recently. But then it's like, do I really need this? And last Friday, for my day after of this, my new thing I just started, where the day after of this live stream, I'm doing a private live stream in our Skool community called I'm always making up names. I call it the Friday debrief. Let me go in the calendar and show y'all. So this is my fairly new thing. I've only done it for about 3 weeks. And my thinking initially was, we do all this every Thursday. I usually have more things to discuss with y'all that I didn't get to, or I want to have time to deep dive into some things I discussed or showed y'all. So I thought, let me do a day after, and this is public. Let's have this be private. Only our free members of this, Skool is free to join. So only our Skool members that, I'll put the link back up so you can join if you're not already there. So I want to just have it so that let's continue the discussions. Let me show you some more things. And so initially it's this Friday debrief. Well, when I did it last week, Jim Fuse was in there with me, and we're hanging out, and became more, I like it to also be based on who's there and what are we doing and what are we talking about. So Jim was there with me. And instead, it became more of, we're just having a conversation. We were talking about a variety of things. There was nobody else there anyway. I don't have to record it. And I like to just go with the flow based on who's there. I mean, I had things I could have talked about, but, we're talking about a variety of things. I didn't record it. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather the Friday be, let's have it as a hangout. Whoever can come is Fridays at 3:00 Eastern for about an hour. Whoever can come hang out. Let's hang out. We can talk about whatever. If you have questions, this is a great opportunity to come with questions. If you have them, I will always have things to talk about, even if nobody's there. I come prepared with things, but last week it's like, I would much rather just have a conversation with Jim, because he took the time to be there live with me. And it was great. We had a great chat and it was fun. And so I'm constantly pivoting as I feel needed. And then it's like, okay, I don't need the webinar feature. That was another reason for me to keep the pro plan on Skool. I don't need that, because if I want to do it as more of a hangout, but Bez was there the previous week and we tested it, and Jim and I tested it last week, is if I did do the Zoom hangout type feature, I mean, like, just what are the different ways I can use this? And I just came to the conclusion that I don't have to have the webinar version to do what I want to do. So that's why I made this decision. Do y'all have any thoughts? Because, like, I hope I'm not bringing this out of left field and making people like question things. The community will still be the same. Nothing about the community changes. It's just a few minor changes on my end, just, a few less features. Any thoughts?
I'll let Rachel go first, because I'll give you a master class. As you know, you brought me to the party, and the reason that I jumped in and got a community was simply because we could go live. And I know that, and we're all about community building, and I know that we've got to have the live feature. So I'll just keep my mouth shut for a minute, and then I'll let you know what I learned.
Awesome. Rachel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what Barb has to say, but I agree with you from the consumer perspective. I don't really see a difference in what I see on Skool in your community. So I think it makes sense for you. I see a lot of people worry about things like, well, what if, just to bring up Substack one more time, what if I, change from MailChimp to Substack? It doesn't matter because people are still getting your work in their
100%.
inbox. It's just that the format that it comes to you is different, but it still comes to your inbox the exact same way. So I feel the same thing so far about Skool from my end, but I do have the community and I would like to get that going at some point for a book marketing chat because I moved everything off of X at this point. It's just,
Have you?
yeah.
Well, the thing is, a big part of the decision is it's a $90 difference in
A
price
lot of money.
every month times
That's a
12.
lot.
And
I was adding that up. I'm like, that's over $1,000 a year.
it's a
It's got
lot.
to pay for itself.
And I've had the what's now AI shortcuts to work smarter. I've had it for I think like 2 years. So I mean, I've had this for quite a while, and I love it. And I'm not discounting anything. I love that I have this. Is awesome, and I'm a big fan of Skool. I was already in another Skool community when I first got introduced to Skool. Then I started my Kratom Real Talk one, which I started way before, um, way before I started this one. And, really learned all the ins and outs of how this works. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of stepping back going, $90 a month is a lot. And I'm trying to scale back on different subscriptions too. And I'm like, it's like, do I really need $90 worth of what this gives me for that? Like, I just kept weighing it and weighing it. And it's like, I don't think it's necessary. Plus, as I said before, I want to do another one. And it's like, oh my gosh, how many of these am I going to have? And it adds up. It adds up. So, Barb, I want to hear your thoughts because then I want to get
Okay.
to like what's going to happen next after this, where I'm going with all this.
Okay. First of all, I've been on, since .coms were available, and I got barbT.com right away. I was there when WordPress came out, and I was just in seventh heaven. I have a redirection plugin on my WordPress site. So I knew that whatever, I don't have to go to Bitly, I don't have to go, Linktree or any of those. I can just create a referral URL to that destination. But I thought $9 a month versus $99 a month. If I went in at $9 a month, I could have 10 communities. And
Right.
I have 10 different interests, and I'm that kind of gal. Not everybody wants to talk about ballooning all day, but that's my biggest family. I need to have something for those folks. And so now I just, here's what I have learned, because one thing I knew is it's a new platform. I need to find out who the top achievers are on the platform and see what they're doing, how they're handling it. So since my purchase, that's what I belong. I believe it is to 12 groups at this at this point, and but I've been analyzing them every day, even based on the lessons they taught me and the numbers, and going back to yours, mine, and Jim's, and the thing is that we are all about community. That's the people factor. And my thought was, I'm looking at those numbers and I thought, if I had this as a do-over, what would I do? Because I saw those numbers come up, like I just checked yours out on what it refers to now. And I thought, if I had it to do over again, I would have probably, when it said, what do you want to call your community, I would have put like 2 or 3 initials, and that would be it. Like, the reason that I would do that is because they do add the numbers onto it, and I have to take their link and put that in whatever my referrer is, what that's
Right.
Bitly or whatever. So keep it as short as possible, because that part's not going to matter. You're not going to market them that way. I also viewed the suggested communities that came up on the right as not being a big deal,
Agree.
because you've got, the magic in you. What makes me love Madalyn so much is like, the combination with the music and going to Twitter, all of our adventures together. I don't care if they're over there. I gotta see what Madalyn's doing. So that's your leadership in your community. So that was number one. And then I learned one of the things, when you do buy a buy-in at the $9 a month, you get to participate in the Schoolers community on the platform, and that is actually run by the founders of Skool. They have a weekly update. They have contests going on all the time. But since I've been there, I've watched two young men become millionaires with what they're doing, and I met them in that community. And so my feeling is that jump in, that's important. But if you are a person that's just starting out today and say, Barb, how should I use my money? What do I do? And typically folks that I'm used to, they're limited in resources. They're not all millionaires. They're like, how do I keep it, as cost effective as possible? And I think, thank heavens I joined Madalyn's community, because I met Rachel, who turned me on to Substack. And the combination of those two things with a web, with a .com, well, if you're lucky enough, still you could get a .com or a .ai that's fairly short. But think of your branding that you want to develop for yourself, like Madalyn Skool, just like what she said when she had things changes. So you've got to think about that up front. What do I want to be? And keep it as short as possible. And you can drive it from your website, because even like when I talk about Skool, I put barbt.com/Skool. And so that they go to me first. So if I change and I say, okay, well, we're not going to Skool anymore, we're going to go to Mighty Networks or whatever, I can change that. But I think the magic thing, if you came to me as a new client today, I would say you do need to have a Facebook group. That's the entry point. You need to have a Facebook account, because you need to be able to pay for advertising. And guess those two young men I watched become millionaires, they have Facebook accounts. So do the founders of Skool. So, and they're using them to advertise, to go to their communities on Skool. So you can't just diss Facebook. You can't drop that. And you also have to think, what took us to Facebook fighting as we did, because that was all for kids when it started. And that was because we could connect with people around the world so easily. And we didn't have to provide the support for that, because there's lots of newbies out there, people who have never done anything, and just getting to the Facebook URL was a difficult challenge. So now with Skool, I'm glad you did what you did, and I wondered why you were doing what you were doing, because I was just doing the numbers, and I'm married to well, he's retired now, but he's CPA, and it's like, I'm not the numbers person, but geez, I could have 9 communities instead of only one for that same amount of money. But it has to be your why, and what's
Yeah.
the other thing is, like what you said, well, I'm not really monetizing. Well, guess what? You can still monetize at the $9 a month.
100%.
I've watched the successful ones, because even those young men who were that successful, they have the $9 a month plan, and you come in there and go to the next level with the $99 a month, but they earned that through their $9 a month one. They earned the clients or customers from that by introducing them first through the
Right.
$9 version. But I think for sure that it's a smart move on your part. I don't think, and maybe in the beginning, because Jim and I tested it right away about going live together there. But in the lives in the $9 plan, we're all in the room, but you still have to approve their audio and their video.
Right.
You don't have to have them all on at one time. And you as the leader can actually drive that. You can give your out in your communities, you can have a classroom. That's not something that we have on Facebook. I mean, they've given us
Right.
guides and so forth to have that information that's uh, to educate people, but people forget it's there. And with the way that the design is of of Skool itself, how it's set up, there's no missing it. And everything is driven by the calendar. If you put it on the calendar, even if you're teaching on Skool, like I have Madalyn's in my school community, it shows I'm live in my school community. It actually shows that I'm in this session right now. And I can drive that destination to wherever, to my, I'm streaming live to my profile, I'm streaming live to my YouTube account, or even to Madalyn's account, but I have control. And that's what you need to do when you're establishing a home or community on the internet, is you've got to retain control. And you've got to be thinking about brand. I mean, what do you want to be known as? That I can always find Madalyn Skylar. Now, Madalyn has a very unique name.
It helps.
And
I didn't
it's
like it as a kid.
Yeah.
As a grown up in business,
It's easy to find you.
Yeah, I'm very easy to find, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. But
At
I
all.
also, I feel so blessed that I found both you, well, and Bez too. I just love Bez.
We have a great
And
group
of course, Jim, I knew from StreamYard. And I mean, uh, it's exceptional, but you do need to join each other's studio. And there's another thing, Madalyn, while I have the mic, is that I learned, and I actually posted it in your community when I learned it, is, you've got to have 30 followers to your profile account before you can change the name of that profile account, to, like, I can have it as my Barb T USA. And like most social networks, like on Facebook, you'll find me at Barb T USA. On X, you will find me at Barb T USA. All of them, I'm there. But they typically give us those. Those are the ones when we sign up. That's why we would sign up quickly. I'm Barb T USA on Pinterest and all these other destinations. I didn't have to pay extra for that. So,
Right. And here's the post you did a few weeks ago talking about claiming your free profile URL in Skool.
It's right there in your group. And that's the other thing, is that you share. I'm in Madalyn's group and other groups, and I share those things within there, because you learn. If you go down on Madalyn's, I think I'll check yours from my computer, but I can see where I stand in my contributions to Madalyn's group.
Yeah, the leaderboard.
And the leaderboard. And we don't have that on Facebook. That's called gamification. I hated it, as I don't play games on the internet. That's just not my
Well,
thing.
Barb, what's interesting? On the leaderboard, you're number 2 for the last 7 days. You're number 2
I
for
know.
30
I'm
days.
so disappointed.
You're number 1 for all time.
All time, right?
And
Because
you're
I've
way ahead.
been.
You're
Right.
you're like double what the next person is, on there. That's wild.
And that tells you, and that's the way it is in the groups that I join, because I'm all about community. And what does that mean, Barb? You have got to post a reaction to whatever. Like if Madalyn posts something, they have a reaction. They like, what is the deficit on that platform versus Facebook? Is Facebook has a lot of different reactions. But Facebook went too far, because they put up a mad emoji and they put up a dislike emoji, and psychologically that was a downturn in posting and reactions on Facebook, because we all know technically we can hit something by mistake. And a friend says, well, what did you like? What's happening between us? You don't like it? That
Right.
kind of thing. So it's all that psychological impact. And I just think that, and the thing about Skool is the founders listen to you. They're so open to your suggestions, and they take action. They take action quickly.
They sure do.
So that's one of the things that I'm pushing for on Skool, because I know the positive reactions are essential in online networks, wherever you are.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your insights on all of this. It definitely, hopefully those that are tuning in are just uh, getting a better, clearer picture of like running your own community and like the different things to think about. Um, and going back to like being active on Skool, and you're touching on that a bit. They do this really cool. Skool really has the whole gamification thing. You know, the leaderboard is brilliant, is based on activities. Uh, they have this thing called the fire emoji. I've known about this for a long time. I just never really pursued it, but they do have these special emojis for certain milestones. So if you're active in Skool and you do what they say they call it like 10 activities, the benchmark is at least 10 activities every day. For 30 days, you get a fire emoji next to your name. Now, I never cared or pay much attention to this, but I'm in a challenge in another school right now where like they're encouraging people, if you want to get your flame emoji next to your name on Skool, then we're doing this 30-day challenge. And I touched on this a little bit last week, and I mentioned that I'm in this challenge. And when you look at my profile, if you're on Skool and you go to Madalyn Skylar, this is what my profile looks like. And when you go to your profile, same thing. It's going to show these different boxes. And this is based on your activity level. And so you get the dark green if you have at least 10 activities for that 24-hour period. And if it's gray, then there's no activities. If it's a light green, then you got less than 10. So if you get 30 of those dark green boxes in a row, 30 days of that, Skool is automatically going to put a little flame emoji. So right here next to my name, and this will show up everywhere I'm on Skool. And I'm on a variety of communities. Plus I host 2 of my own. There's going to be a flame emoji. And as long as you maintain minimum 30 days. So if I fail to get 10 activities in one day, then I will lose the emoji and then you start over. And so as I said, I didn't pay much attention. Like I saw that people did that, and like definitely in the schoolers community, they're all about this. But I'm in a community where, they're trying to encourage people, hey, if you want to get the flame emoji, let's do a challenge together. And so I started January 1st was I think when I found out about the challenge. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start it. So starting January 2nd, you can see I did really good, got all the green boxes. Then on January 19th, I didn't pay attention to what it was the timing. And it's knowing when the cutoff is for your time zone, when the clock starts back over for the next 24-hour period. And for Skool, I'm in Central Time Zone. So the cutoff for me is 6 p.m. every day. So that means if you're in Eastern Time Zone, your cutoff time will be 7 p.m. If Barb, you're Mountain, so you'll be 5 p.m. So just know that like that's the benchmark. And I'm determined to get my flame emoji and keep it. So the way you get your at minimum 10 activities is based on your engagement on the Skool platform, on any Skool community, your own and other people's. If you do a like on any post, that counts as one activity. When you're posting or replying to somebody, each of those count as an activity. So if you at minimum do 10 likes on different posts in the course of a 24-hour period, then you're going to see the dark green. But you can see I have holes in mine because again, it wasn't a goal of mine. I didn't pay much attention to it, but now I'm hyper focused on it because I want to do this challenge to myself. Y'all know I just went through my other challenge, my 30 days. I called it my 30 days of Madalyn, my self-imposed content challenge. It ended up becoming a video content challenge. Where every day, it's January 1st all the way to the January 30th, every day I posted a piece of content. Of those 30 days, 29 of those days were videos. I only did one day very early on. It was day 3, where I just did like a text, an image, a post with an image of a motivational quote. But then I thought everybody was really digging the video, so I decided to just do that. But I just this year just been wanting to challenge myself more with things. So I just wanted to mention that, with Skool, with any community, it's all about what you put into it is what you get out from it. And I really enjoy doing kind of ramping up my activity level in Skool I'm connecting with more people. I'm in other communities, and it's been really cool. I'm really glad that I'm doing this. All right, I want to get back to me changing my Skool from the pro plan to the hobby plan. There was a huge lesson I learned in this. I mentioned to y'all that I'm using Bitly for the links. So like the shortcut to getting to the AI shortcuts to work smarter Skool is just go to bit.ly/Madalyn Skool. So let me explain the whole link shortener thing. Now, link shorteners, I'm a big fan of, because again, if I was to just give you the long URL, this is on your screen here, this is technically what the URL is: skool.com/social-media-shortcuts-8317. Nobody's going to remember that. And that's just not an effective way. It's way better to have a link shortener or some way to take your URL, like what Barb was mentioning, and have it redirect however you want. Now, I used to, when I had my site, my MadalynsKylar.com site on WordPress, I had if anybody's on WordPress, the best plugin you can use, is free, is called Pretty Links. Oh my God, was that that was the one thing I missed when I stopped using WordPress, because that's like the best plugin ever, because you can you redirect any link, any long link, whether it's your site or other sites, even affiliate links, but it's to keep your .com, your website, with / whatever you want. So when I stopped using WordPress, I mean, these days I don't even have like a real .com. I have MadalynsKylar.com, of course. I just have it redirecting to my link tree right now, because I just don't need, at this moment, I don't need a fancy website. I will probably.
That's interesting. We need to talk about that, because that barbtusa.com links to Linktree directly, and it does include my link to Skool directly from there.
Yeah, so I have Skool in my link tree. Like I haven't needed just a traditional website in a while, just based on the different things I've been doing. And so what I ended up doing is I would just redirect MadalynsKylar.com to my Skool or wherever. Now I have it redirected to my link tree, because I got all the social media there. I've got Skool, I've got Substack, I've got, link to this for my YouTube, what we're doing right now. One of my favorite videos on YouTube where I'm talking to ChatGPT with the voice mode. And then my affiliate links, Magi, Whisperflow, Big View, Opus Clip, starting your own Skool community, and my Amazon gear. So I just, for now, it's really just temporary. But the bottom line is that if I want to shorten a link, I need to use one of the tools, one of the link shorteners. So I have used Bitly forever. I go way back with Bitly. I used the free version forever. Then I have this funny story when I went to the paid version. This was probably about 10 years ago. Doing the free version forever. I have a ton of Bitly links. And then do y'all know who Jay Bear is? Jay Bear, he's like author,
Yes.
speaker, really well immersed in the digital.
I met him on Blab.
So he and I have spoken at some events together, and so I've known him a while. And actually, this part of the story came up when he was on my Twitter Smarter podcast. So this is about 10 years ago. He's on my Twitter Smarter podcast, and I'll never forget this. He says, we're talking about link shorteners. He goes, Madalyn, you need to get Scholarly for your he goes, you can do this on Bitly or wherever, but get scholar.ly, because Bitly has always been like the top premier link shortener, and everybody was so familiar with it. He says, get Scholarly and then use that for your link shortener. And so I learned how to do that. Like on Bitly, it was expensive back then. It's not nearly as expensive now, but I got scholar.ly as a domain. And so then I could just, through Bitly, do all this, where it could be scholar.ly/whatever instead of Bitly/whatever. And it was, I was like, that's great advice. So I did that for a really long time, but it was expensive. And then you had to maintain it you had to keep renewing that particular thing. And over time, it's like, do I really need this? So I stopped doing it. And then Bitly over the years got to the point where if you don't do their paid account, that I don't know if y'all have noticed on the free, it takes you to this page and it looks like it's spam, like it looks like it's not legit, and it's just forcing you to look at an ad or something, and then you have to click a link to continue the redirect. And it looked so bad. I'm like, okay, I can't use Bitly anymore because that looks it's questionable. And I don't want people going to my affiliate links and looking at this going, why is Madalyn sending me to this weird, questionable page? So then I went last year, and boy, did I come to regret this. Wait till you hear what happened yesterday. I was looking at all the link shorteners, and I'm familiar with a lot of the old ones like TinyURL and some others. So I did a bunch of research. ChatGPT was helping me research. And ultimately, I really just wanted a free one just for affiliate links for the time being. And so I went with TinyURL. I had no issues with it. So with the whole Skool thing yesterday, I'm like, oh, let me go over to TinyURL and go, make sure, I adjust to have a shortened link for this, now that I won't have my skool.com/Madalyn Skylar. So I'm over there and I'm looking at my different URLs, and most of them are affiliate links. And they have this new thing now that pops up to let you know that earmarking the affiliate links that, well, we take an affiliate off of your affiliate. And I don't know if y'all heard, there's this really scammy, crazy thing that happened. It was all over. I saw all these YouTube videos about a year and a half ago, where a lot of the big YouTubers who like promote things and they do their coupon code, apparently however they were doing it, they were deceived, and under them it was being like all those affiliates were being taken from them without they're doing the link, but it was like whoever was running the link was actually like a third party was doing this devious thing and taking all the credit and getting the affiliate money. And when I saw this thing on TinyURL yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, they're flat out telling you, unless you pay for an account, that they decide that with some of your affiliate links, they're going to take it. I'm thinking, what's the point? I was pissed. I was not happy about this. And I'm like racking my brain, like, why? Like, I'm just going to go back to using Bitly and pay for, and I'd rather pay Bitly. And I looked to see who had the best prices for the lowest paid account. Bitly was cheaper. And I'm like, well, I'd rather pay to not have to deal with that. I'm willing to do it. I think I paid it was like $120 a year is what it was, something like that. And TinyURL was a little bit more. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to switch it all to Bitly. I want to delete these off of TinyURL. So if anybody finds one of my old TinyURL links, it's not going to TinyURL's affiliate, their pocket with my affiliate code. And it doesn't let you on this is a public service announcement, okay? If you're using TinyURL, and I don't know if others are doing this too, on the free account, they don't let you delete them. So I had to have a chat with ChatGPT to see, what do I do here? I'm not liking this. I don't want somebody to find one of my links, even though I'm not talking about it anymore. They're going to be out there somewhere. And I'm all about, the morals of this, and like, I will do everything I can to make sure they don't get nothing out of me with this. So what I had to do, and this is where to me, the words I want to say, I'm not going to say because I don't want them getting mad at me. But I feel it was just so inappropriate that you have to pay for an account before you're allowed to delete those links that you put on there. So I'm looking at this going, you got to be kidding. So I'm like, let me pay for one. Like I'm like, no, I don't care. I will pay the $16, and with tax, it was $17. I'm going to pay $17 for 1 month so I could go in there, delete them, and then go cancel the account. So I'm out $17. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do that because I'm not going to let them in perpetual have access to my links, because I did it on the free account. Have y'all heard of that they do stuff like this, these companies?
I can always share this if I can do this. Yes, I had something similar happen with Bitly, and things were getting strange and weird. And that was about the time that I connected with Genius Links. And I've
Okay.
used them ever since. And they're actually now my sponsor for my Substack. They paid it for me to advertise my Substacks. But you don't have to be an author to use Genius Links. You can create, if you're an, let's say, an Amazon affiliate and you want to, you know, share a mattress that you bought, you can create a Genius Link for that. And the reason to do that is because then if somebody purchases it, you get that affiliate money, but that doesn't go to Genius Link. And their cost is $6 a month for over for 1,000 clicks. And then I think it goes up in dollar increments. It's very, very reasonably priced. But why I like Genius Links, they have a free version called Book Linker, and that is specifically for books. But the one thing that I think a lot of people don't really understand is what is the advantage of having a universal link? Because that's what they really are. And what that means is I can use the same link. I can give you this link to my book, Madalyn, in the United States, and I can give the same link to my friend in Spain, and it's exact same link, but it corrects itself for that person's country, for Amazon or whatever they click on. So that's why those are important, because when you start having courses or TED Talks or books or live streams, and you have to create links for all of them, for all the different places they are, it just makes so much more sense to have one link, and then people can choose their option from there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that. I went with Bitly because I've been with them a long time in the past.
Sure.
They're reliable. And people are so familiar with Bitly. I mean, Bitly's been around a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows what a Bitly link is. And so, but that's good to know. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I want to pass along what happened to me so others are aware. And I don't know if this is just a new trend with the link shorteners where, you get what you pay for with free. It used to not be that way, but I was extremely disappointed with Tiny. Like, I was so mad
That's
that this
really
happened.
worth sharing. I'm glad you shared it.
Yeah, I want people to know. I mean, listen, in my head, there's a lot of name calling going, but I know better than to be saying that publicly because I don't want to get in no trouble. But it is just not right to be doing things like that. I'm sure somewhere there's fine print that says that, but if it's not obvious, it's just not cool. And to not let me delete it unless I pay to delete it, that's just no. So,
Crazy.
I'm like, okay, I will pay for this elsewhere where, yeah, Larry says scammy practice. No, pretty well. I was saying earlier before you got here, I used to be on WordPress years
Yeah.
ago, and I was telling everybody, hands down, the best thing, Pretty Links is
Pretty links. Yeah.
the best plugin you can have. But yeah, that was the only thing that was hard about not using WordPress anymore. I just didn't need a website for a while, a .com website. I have my MadelynSkylar.com. I just always redirect it to wherever. These days, it's just redirecting to my link tree. But yeah, it's good to have something as a link shortener for sure that can tie into your domain. But I'm sure, and Barb, you were saying something about like redirects using your domain, but how else do you do it besides WordPress? Because I don't know of other ways
I
to be
think we
able.
can, I mean, because it's already noon right now.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
that
Yeah.
is something I'm a super expert at
Let's talk about
because of
next
the
week
length
then.
of time. We can do that and talk about
Yeah.
it in your group as well. But I believe that you've definitely got to have, if you can still get a .com, and I have consulted with folks on .coms, just like there are actually short ones still available, because what's happening is people from other countries are trying to pick up all of these numbers and letters to fill it up, to make sure there's none available. But after a while, you figure out that's not going to work. And given our history together, the length of time that we've been online, I think that's one thing of value I can bring to your community. I'd be more than happy to talk about
Yeah.
it.
I'll make a
But
note for us to do that.
also the payback for Barb. What's in this for Barb? Barb shows up here for free when, folks pay her a tremendous amount of money to spend time with them if they really want to pick this old brain. And the thing is that I am at a stage where I don't want to use the word retire, but I'm going to expire. There is no doubt that the only way I'm going to get out of here is I'm going to expire. So I'm getting close to my expiration date. I still smell good, feel good, and all of that right now, but who knows? And I've got to prepare. And that's something you need if you have a business online, whatever you do in life, you need to have an exit plan. Even if this is just a joke, but I got to get this out, Madalyn, because it's you. Do you remember all my exes live in Texas?
Oh,
They
yeah.
sure do. And now we take about exes there. We need to do an AI song about X in Texas.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, if you get what I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I would be happy to do that in your group because I need to get rid of 100 domains, about between 80 and 100. And I have gotten 5 figures for my domains before. I have one incredible story of a young woman that actually they purchased it, found out about it on Facebook, and the husband was a Facebook employee and he bought it for his wife, and she is a multimillionaire now. So
Wow.
mine are good, the ones I've got, and I'd be more than happy to contribute that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, this hour went fast. I thank you for bringing it up because I wasn't even paying attention to the time. It's just been such a great, lively discussion. Real quick, we're not obviously we don't have time today. I will definitely for tomorrow's Friday hangout in school. I'm going to talk about what's happening at Magi, my favorite all-in-one AI tool. That their version 3 is coming out, and Dustin has been hinting at all of this so much online on his social media the past few weeks. And then it was supposed to get like fully launched on Monday, but they've been having some issues. But I do have the beta. I haven't had time to spend a lot on it, but I think I'll go over this tomorrow for anybody that's there. But for those that are able to do the beta, when you log into your Magi, I don't think everybody sees this, but this pop-up comes up to let you know that they're working on the brand new version of Magi. Is going to be better, faster, and packed with more improvements. Be among the first to try it. So I actually do have it, and again, I haven't had time. Like I just got it a few days ago, and I've just been too busy to spend a whole lot of time on it. I'll show a little bit of my screen, but it is definitely a cleaner interface, and it less cluttered, and it's supposed to be way more powerful. And so I'm going to definitely be playing around with it tomorrow
And
in school.
okay, you can show us in school
And look, I mean,
tomorrow.
look, for anybody that, first of all, Magi, like one of the best tools ever. Let me pull up the link and put it on the screen for those to check it out. Magi, go to magi.co/Madalyn. You get 30% off for 3 months, which is an amazing deal with my code Madalyn30 because that's not like a regular offer. The only time I've seen him do that offer, that good of a deal, was their Black Friday sale. And it's like, this is not a normal deal you get. But I go way back with Dustin. We've been friends a long time. He used to come all the time to this live stream before he got so popular with Magi. But yeah, if anybody needs that link, just let me know and I'll send it to you. But anyway, this is why Magi is so powerful, is that with it being an all-in-one tool for $20 a month, I mean, look at what these are your options. You can just do auto, and it'll just, based on whatever you type in, whatever your prompt is, it'll figure out which chat model to use. But you got all the different Claudes. You got DeepSeek. It's also the image one. So here's Flux. You got Gemini 2.5 Flash, 2.5 Pro, and 3 Pro. ChatGPT image, ChatGPT 5, plus other ChatGPTs. Look at all the different ones. You got Grok 3 and Grok 3 Mini and Grok 4. You got lots. You've got these image ones here. You got Kling, which is a very popular video AI generator. Leonardo is a very popular image generator. Llama is. You got Nano Banana right here. So you can use Nano Banana inside your Magi. You've got Perplexity. You got 4 different Perplexity to use. got all these different options. Sora 2, which is a very popular video AI tool right now. Vio, another video one. I played with that a few weeks ago. And you got ChatGPT's Voice GPT in here, which I haven't played with this new version 3. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm definitely eager to spend time in here and play with all these. But you have so much flexibility. Another thing that Dustin does is he has all these different personas that you can make your own persona. I have a Madalyn Skylar persona, but he has created all of these for very specific types of chats you want to have inside there. And then you can just create your own down here, do a new and create your own. It is one of the best tools ever. And it's utilizing ChatGPT, OpenAI and all the different ones. It's going to their servers and bringing it back to Magi servers. And one of the things I love about Magi, and I think one of the best selling tools on this, let me bring up one of the best selling points on this is that everything is private. When you're using these, like, I don't know if anybody remembers. So when DeepSeek came out, like over a year ago, everybody was up in arms because they're saying, "Oh, that's a Chinese AI platform." It was like getting really popular, but it was DeepSeek could do some really cool things. But everybody was like, "Yeah, but this is on China's web servers. You don't know if your stuff is safe, and there's going to be privacy issues." The way Dustin has Magi working is it goes to all of those, brings it back to his server. So his servers are secure. So your information is not being exposed on any of those platforms at all, which I think is amazing. So Larry's asking, do you know if Magi has APIs? I don't know. That's a good question. Are you in Dustin's Facebook group? I mean, he's always taking questions. You can always ask him in there. So, and then Larry, your comment about domain prices, they're not nearly as outrageous as they used to be. They used to be expensive a long time ago, but not
$200 per .com domain are my first ones.
really.
The very first, yeah. And
Yeah.
went from 200 to 100 and for several years, and then it started getting competitive after that. But that is definitely something I know about.
Well, it's been an awesome chat as I'm just showing the page. If you go to magi.co/Madalyn, this is the page I'm on, and it shows you a breakdown of all the different things that this amazing tool does. But for me, it's like for $20 a month, it's a no-brainer. The way I do, and I talk about it a lot here, I have my ChatGPT Plus account for $20 a month, and then I have my Magi for $20 a month. I do both because Magi lets me do everything. And I use ChatGPT Plus account because there's some features on there you can't get elsewhere, not even on Magi. And I love the advanced voice mode. I love some of those the agent mode. I've been loving that agent mode. I've been using it more and more. So I feel like I have the best of everything with those two paid accounts. But that's just my personal thought on that. Anyway, thank you all so much for hanging. It's always a fun time. Come tomorrow to Skool if you
Sure
want to come
thing.
hang out for my Friday.
What time is it tomorrow?
Friday is it's 2:00 my time Central, so that is 3:00 Eastern for you, Barb. That would be 1:00, and for
Okay,
people
I'll put
on
up on the calendar and
12
see
noon
if
for
it
Pacific.
works. Yeah, because I would definitely like to know more about Magi. I have not joined that yet, done that, and it's just because there's just so many tools, and it's only so much time to do so many things, and ChatGPT continues to update theirs. That's when you're an old beta tester in particular. If the developer continues with the updates very regularly, you get hooked much faster.
Right.
So, but that looks very interesting to me at this point. It really does. So
it's really cool, and I'm gonna play around with it tomorrow in the Skool chat. So if anybody wants, because I just haven't had a whole lot of time yet. I've had such a busy schedule, but I will definitely be playing more with the version 3 between now and then. And my understanding from talking with Dustin, because I do have his ear, so I can reach out to him anytime, and I always hear right back from him. Is that the version 3 for all current Magi users? Version 3 is going to be out at any time. He's trying to fix a few issues with it. Everybody will be able to have access to it. It's just going to be a much, he's been talking about it for a long time. I mean, it's going to do a lot more. It's going to be faster, cleaner, everything about it. And just the little bit I've seen, I'm super impressed. But for those that don't have it yet, just know that is coming at it could be any time. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. He's been saying since Monday that he's like me, perfectionist, got to get it just right. So he doesn't want to put out something until it is 110% ready. So I love that about him. And I want to mention, there is no free trial at Magi. Let me just quickly explain. He had a free trial for a long time. He started Magi right after ChatGPT came out. He has a phenomenal story. If anybody's interested, let me know, and I'll send you some links so you can learn more about him. But Dustin Stout, I've known him for years, great guy, and he's built a variety of digital marketing tools that I've bought in the past. And when ChatGPT came out, it was like, this is amazing. But ChatGPT was, to me personally, the interface was so ugly when it came out. It was dark, it was clunky. I didn't like it, so I didn't use it as much. It was hard to organize. And he came out with Magi as a cleaner, easier way to use ChatGPT. You're still using ChatGPT, but it's on his server, so he can control the output, the interface, and provide features like folders so you can organize. He had a free version for a long time, but as he grew, this was just a one-person operation when he started. As it grew, they got like this attack at one point with I don't know what exactly with bots, but it just was a huge issue where he's like, we just can't have a free version anymore because, it was too small of a company to have all these problems. And I totally get it. But here's the thing. He gladly give you there's a money back guarantee. He will gladly refund you if you do not like Magi for $20 a month. And you can do the annual plan. But let me tell you how I did this. When it was first free, I tried it, loved it. He had a paid version as well. I started with the free instantly. Probably for me, it was probably less than 30 days. I go sign up for the paid. I'm like, because ChatGPT was still kind of new at the time. All this AI stuff was new, like 3 years ago. So I thought, well, I don't want to do annual because what if this is not around in a year? Like, what if it's not a popular thing in a year? So I just signed up for a month. I just thought I'm going to do month to month. And after I think the second month of paying the monthly, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be using this forever. I'm going to go upgrade to the annual because, of course, annual, you get a little bit of a discount. And I've just been a customer ever since. And he has added so much. Every time he doesn't add just any tool, but like tools that matter and tools that can help you. And it's just, I'm so impressed watching the progression of it growing all this time. But if you sign up and you're like, you know what, this is not worth my $20, he will gladly refund your money. But I'm telling you, you go sign up, you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe I get all of this for $20. And in his Facebook group, his Magi Facebook group, he's answering every question. You put a question in there, he answers it. He is so accessible to the customers and just all around great guy. So can't recommend it enough. So there's my spiel. So I'll let everybody go and I'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow in Skool. And if not, I'll see you back here next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.